Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm going to join the wings together now on this AT6 Texan, and the way I'm going to do that is I will remove the silver paint off these areas, and I will do the same on the wing here. This is pretty much clear anyway, but I'll just make sure it's all clear where they make contact, and then I'm going to use foam tack glue. Get them put together, take this section out, make sure the cables feed through, then put it together, then apply the screws. You need to put 3 screws on each side of this wing. The actual instructions don't tell you to glue it. The actual instructions here actually say secure the left and right side wings with the screws, but they're flimsy screws, they're thin little screws. I'm not sure if I'm happy with just that holding it together, so I'm going to put some more glue on it. Of course there's a spar that goes right through it as well. Let's do one side. I go like that, and then I put 1, 2, 3 screws through. What I'm going to do first is put Yoo-hoo pour where these interlock. I'm using the screwdriver that was provided. These are going together very nicely. Okay, I'm going to let that glue set before I do anything else. What I will do though is feed these through that hole. This piece then goes back on there once I've got the other wing on, but before I do that I'm going to use a tiny bit of hot glue just to keep these in place, these wires. Well, this is typical Dynam, and I'm going to have to rethink my strategy. I've screwed this into the plate, and the plate's actually popped out of the wing underneath. And I'm gluing this in as well, thankfully, but that is basically useless. So these plates, I'll show you them in a minute. At the moment I have to hold this together so it glues in the right position. Not very impressed, Dynam. Not impressed at all with these coming out. I was hoping these would work and be the clamps that hold this wing together while it dries, but they're not working. So what I'm going to do is CA them in before I do the next wing. So over here, these, as I was screwing in, these just came out. These 3 things, so I'm going to run some CA around them. Okay, it seems to be biting now. The glue seems to be holding it in place. The CA and this activator kicker, and then that will give the Yoo-hoo pour time to set. But those screws were supposed to do that and they didn't, they're useless. Okay, I've popped 2 screws down here and they are biting. That's quite good. They went together quite well. That one's not so good. There it is. Yeah. I didn't like the way this went onto the saddle. There's no latching, there's nothing. It just boop, drops straight on. So it really is reliant on these 4 screws and the mechanisms plastic pegs to hold it on. I've got to open the retracts up to get the next 2 screws in. Okay, it's the same thing, except they're straight into the plastic runner here. And the wheel, well, quickly show you those. Here and here. I'm now going to screw those down. Okay, I think the wings are on. It's got quite a lot of weight to it actually. I'll leave the retracts down for now. Put this on. Get it on. Looking alright. Almost finished. Almost, not quite. The wings go together really badly and they join here and here, and it wasn't easy at all to get it to glue and stay in place. The reason I've got this silver tape on the top of the wing now is because there was a gap right the way down between these 2 parts and I had to epoxy it. So I've actually filled the gap with epoxy and taped over it. Otherwise things went together pretty well. Servos all aligned up perfectly. I'm extremely unhappy about the push rod setup. I use these rod adapters where the rod goes through a hole in a grommet and you screw the rod tight. There's just no spare push rod at all. It's completely maxed out and the screw is literally biting on the end of the push rod. So to give myself a chance, I've actually used foam tack on the screw once I've tightened it up to stop it vibrate loose. And on the adapter, it has a threaded piece that goes through the hole in the servo arm and then a nut goes on top of that. I've used blue thread lock to hold that in place. Might see if I can change it out. Take the cockpit away. I haven't put a receiver in yet because I haven't decided what receiver I'm going to put in there. It'll either be a 7-channel Lemon or the new Spectrum 6-channel receiver with stabilisation. I'm about to mark the centre of gravity out, but before I do that I do have a little thing to show you.